Hello and welcome to the video you've all been waiting for, the world's top 24. 25 teams no longer. We're down to the 24 teams at Worlds for this one. This video is probably going to be the one that I've used the most opinion on thus far. I have used opinion for all the major region teams throughout the split with a little bit of help of stats. And then when it comes to minor region, most of it was stats based because minor regions I hadn't watched. Now, I've watched a good amount of the minor regions play. Not enough by any means, but some compared to what it was before. Down in the description, you're going to see 3 links. Twitter, follow me there. Discord, join the Discord. We BS about the game all day, every day. Lately, we've been talking about a parody account sharing something about Reckless. Some of the Discord I don't think has gotten on board with the fact that it's a parody account yet, but nevertheless. And a couple other things. Asia's Challenger Series thing going on, and, just top 10 list from the LPL earlier this morning. YouTube memberships, $3, $10, $3 supports me. It will get you a badge in the comment section, which, I mean, if you value that, if you value this channel, that'd be real cool. $10 would really help me out. Not only do you get the badge, but you get extra content. Like later today, I upload a American football video that's members only in regards to fantasy football, as well as a prediction for who wins Chargers Chiefs tonight. As it pertains to the fact that this is a League of Legends video, all my league predictions also are in that format in a members only video. So if you want to see those, become a member and you'll get to see them. So yeah, I mean, I guess this is a giant prediction, but not really at the same time. It's kind of how I feel about the top 24 teams as we go into this. And just like, I mean, we just learned about patch 12.18 yesterday, right? And the patch is going to cause meta to change. It's not a massive change, but we have to keep in mind that 12.14 was the last time LCK was on. So 15, 16, 17, and now 18 have not affected the LCK meta. LPL, LCS, and LEC, 16, 17, and 18. So we have 3 patches that affect this. My world's patch video will come out officially when 12.18 comes out, so we know for sure what's buffed and what's nerfed. But we can just theory craft in this, right? So last 24th. Going into this, it is Isurus Gaming. I'm sorry, Latin American fans, but deep down, I'm hoping Isurus gets an upset win. A's went what 0-6. I don't. Maybe they went 1-5 at MSI, but Isurus won by a hero play by an Alistar, saving their Nexus that was exposed and turning the game and winning it in Game 5 against Astral. But I am hoping that Isurus wins a game. It's in Mexico City play-ins, and it'd be really nice if the Latin American team got a win, and especially not only a win, but maybe a win over one of the bigger teams, one of the major region teams would be awesome. Even a win over Saigon Buffalo would be pretty cool. Just for the spreading of the game, I believe the game needs to be spread. I do really think that, and Isurus needs to do that given that the game is in Latin America. Next, another team from the south of the United States, I guess, right? LLL, Loud from Brazil. So actually, we're going to do the next 2 at the same time for a reason. 22nd, I have Istanbul Wildcats. This is a rivalry. This is a rivalry because both minor region teams have been duking it out for a while for supremacy of minor region, I guess. I mean, you know what I'm saying if you're a Brazilian or a Turkish fan. But this meta is very bot-centric. Holy Phoenix. I give Holy Phoenix the edge over Brantz. Brantz is a rookie. If he shows up big, good for him. But as of right now, I'm going to hedge my bets on the rookie. I do think Robo has the edge over Starscreen. Jungle, Croc, it looks pretty good, but we'll see how he does at Worlds. Mid lane, Tanones and Saren, both players that get similar hype going into this. Tanones obviously has been around the block, but the bot lane of Loud is going to be the thing. They're both very young players, whereas Istanbul Wildcats have Holy Phoenix, which is probably the best minor region AD carry Outside of the 5 minor regions or whatever. Outside of like Vietnam and the 5. There's 11 regions. I'm all over the damn place. You know what I'm saying? Better than Latin America, better than LCO probably. I would probably say Holy Phoenix is better than Rays. So that's a deal. So 21st we have that. Actually, I shouldn't put this down because we still have more minor region action to go. BYG 21st. I'm not impressed by them. I'm really not impressed by BYG at all. Really not. I don't know how to feel about this. They did not get out of play-ins last year, and Japan did. So that is seriously something that you need to think about, right? I had somebody this last night say that BYG was the best minor region team at the tournament. Well, that would make them better than Lol Esports and Saigon Buffalo, Flying Oyster, who beat them twice in playoffs, overall 6-1. I really don't, I'm not feeling it with BYG. Last year, Doggo tried to 1v9 and he couldn't get out, and I don't think Wacko's going to be able to do it either. I mean, it'd be all nice and great if they were able to defy expectations, but, you got to be real about it. 19th and 20th. Excuse me, sorry. 19th and 20th. We have Chief and DFM. All right, so these two teams I do not think are better than any major region team. I really think that the way they play is too passively and too major region-esque, if you will, for them to win. We talked about it a couple days ago with Saigon Buffalo, and I'm talking about it again. I think that if you don't make the game, actually talked about DFM specifically yesterday. If you play an LCK style, a slow style of game, and you're not as good mechanically, you're going to lose. You're going to scale and lose. That's my opinion. I think both of these teams do that. Chief trying to play a mix of LCK, LCS, given their players, that would make sense. DFM, that's what they do year in and year out. Chief right now are very good domestically. They have some interesting picks that may be able to get them some wins. I do think that Group A is weak, so there is a possibility, these 3 teams are all in Group A, so one of those 3 are going to be the 3rd seed and have a chance against the 2nd seed of Group B to get out. I think it'll be a 3-0, but they have a chance. So that you have to keep in mind, but I just think they both play very similar styles, and I don't think that it actually bodes well for their success at Worlds. The bottom ranked major region team is 100 Thieves. Very similar reason too. They're just playing a slow game, and if you allow them to, and the thing is, well, actually, once again, C9 just beat 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves, I heard on Hotline League, I think Mark Zimmerman said it. 100 Thieves are involved in the 4 shortest LCS finals. 3 of them were losses, including the last 2. 3-0 losses, and they lost to C9 in 82 minutes. If you go after 100 Thieves in the early game and get ahead, they're screwed. Because they want to play a slow game. They want to scale. They want and then win in the late game. But if you can get after them early, they get lost. They can't come back. They're a team that can't come back. And, this is not like how I think they're going to do at Worlds, but how they're doing going into it. And frankly, I don't have any faith in 100 Thieves getting it done. Their group does not make things easier. I do think that the memes about CFO being better than 100 Thieves are kind of silly and stupid. But CFO is still left to go, right? So I do think CFO has a slight edge, but I don't think it's drastic. I'm going to have them in the same tier. When these tiers are done, they'll be in the same one, which should indicate how I feel. But 100 Thieves are kind of just whatever to me right now. I'm not too fond. I'm not too fond of who is in 17th either, which is going to upset some people. Mad Lions. Mad Lions missed the boat on the meta big time. And it's not really fair because they can fix that in a few weeks, right? They could hypothetically fix that. But I think that in top lane, they do have a glaring problem with Armut. I really do. Armut has been struggling for a while. I think Niski is very limited. He can only facilitate. He's losing lane. And bot lane did not show up in the playoffs, which is concerning because Unforgiven is very young, and this is a big moment. So, how do I feel? Well, they're all over the damn place. And honestly, not to be mean, but right now I have them as the team not getting out of play-ins. So, what does that mean? Well, wouldn't you like to know? That would mean they were the first team that didn't make it out of play-ins and the first team to do it twice as a major region, which is pretty disappointing, huh? 16th, Saigon Buffalo. And people are telling me I'm overhyping Saigon Buffalo, and it is entirely possible. I think it's a mix of a couple things. One, that I really knew nothing about them at MSI, and the way that they played really impressed me, and the confidence they played with really impressed me. It was a little int, but it impressed me. Now, I read a little thing just actually now. Someone commented and said that Saigon Buffalo Taki has struggled in this meta, which I could see as a possibility. Bean J isn't that great. Froggy isn't that great. Well, Bean J and Froggy aren't that great, but I think Shogun's cracked. I think Hosmid's cracked. And if Taki can get it together, I think they're okay. This is one of the first teams that actually, when I'm talking about them, these recent patch notes and things may help them. I listened to, I listened to LS's opinion on 12-18 this morning, and him and Crowny were saying something about how the ADC meta might change. And if it changes to Aphelios Jinx in the end-all be-all, that helps Shogun, who's already playing Aphelios. And it would help I think it would help Saigon Buffalo. It's a team that I'm really think is pretty good. 15th, we have CFO. There's a lot of question marks to me for this team. I believe that Rest is very good. I think Rest is actually, let's say hypothetically if JDG was Group D and Gen.G was Group B. And it was, DK would have moved to, let's say DK moves to Group C. And things are moving all over the place, right? And GAM, or they all swap, right? They swap. Somehow, they swap. And DRX ends up in Group D. I think that CFO have a chance. They're going to be in the same, they won't be in the same tier. I just think that CFO top lane Rest is really good. And the fact of the matter is this. I think that is a way they can beat 100 Thieves. I think 100 Thieves, if Rest can get after someday, there's a chance there. But I do really think that they're going to be pretty close. I could go 1-1, and then they play a tiebreaker, and 100 Thieves wins. RNG are going to be in that group. So, right, RNG should probably beat both those teams 2-0. I doubt that either one are going to beat RNG, so they're battling for third place in the group against each other. I don't know. CFO I think Rest is the best player. Probably, when I look at all these teams, let me just think for a second. Probably outside of Shogun and Kaiser, I would say Rest is probably the best player out of all these teams. Which is the thing. It's definitely something that needs to be respected. At least from my perspective, off of watching only a few games of minor region. So, before people get in the comments and say I'm full of it, I'm full of it. I've only watched a few games, and the games I did see, Rest pulled off a 2v1 that they keep showing with his Gnar in the playoffs, right? We saw it. If you didn't see it, you should look at it. It was pretty cracked. Next, we have EG. Oh, Jesus Christmas. I actually have to move. If you're new to the channel, you'll notice I don't edit these videos. If something happens, something happens. 14th, we have EG. I don't know what to think of EG. Pretty much a minor region team by now to me. Not in the way... Oh, geez, I can just imagine the stupid memes. In terms of how much I know about them right now, I think that they get a totally different look with Kaori at AD carry. The champion pool of Kaori versus Danny is very different. We saw it in the 100 Thieves series, so it gives a totally different vibe to what EG probably are going to do and the way they're going to play the game. And now that they're scrimming together, maybe things change a bit and we get a hybrid of them both in terms of that Kaori plays maybe more champions than he otherwise would have, and gives EG even more options. But as of right now, this really was like pissing in my Cheerios in terms of what I was looking forward to about this tournament and EG. I mean, JoJo's still a young player to look at and be happy about being at an international event, but and it's not fair to Kaori. I mean, the guy deserves a look and an opportunity. It just sucks that it's at Danny's expense due to his mental health. And maybe Danny wouldn't have been ready to come back anyways, and this is the only move EG has, in which case it is what it is, but it still sucks. I think we all can agree it sucks. 13th, we have GAM Esports. Top minor region team. I think that, Levi is definitely world class. Kia? World class. BA. It supports world class as well. This is a very good team. In its group, Rogue just won World. I mean, didn't win Worlds, won LEC. So, it's no slouch that they're with. But I think that they can actually put up a pretty good fight. A good team. Plays the game clean. Hybrid of the LPL style, VCS style, as well as you can see influences of the LCK in there where sometimes they slow it down, which is good or bad. I think, like I keep saying, if you slow the game down and you're not quite at the level of the best teams, I think you're just scaling to lose. But this team might be good enough to scale and still put up a fight in the end. Having them 12th. 13th. 12th is Fnatic. Fnatic missed the boat on the meta as well when it came to playing Rogue. Rogue came in and really just demolished them. Upset is still a really good player, but Wonder was struggling in top lane, talked a lot of crap, and then had to eat it, which is fine. The guy talked crap before the game, and I've said it before, that's fine. Earlier today when I went over Fnatic, we're going into this tournament with Razork and Upset not having any international experience, and that's a big deal, because everything is those two. Razork has to get Upset ahead, and we found out if you take Trundle away from Razork, Fnatic start to struggle. And the thing is, can Humanoid 1v9? Maybe. In this meta, I don't think Wonder can. So it's a thing where Fnatic, I think, are kind of going to have to pivot going into Worlds, and we'll see what they do. Play-ins are going to be a benefit to them because they're going to get extra time, extra games, extra stage time, and that is to the Upset and Razork's benefit. They can get used to the big stage, and given that it's in Mexico City, I don't know how many Mexico City fans, Mexican fans are going to come to the games, but if it's packed, it'll be a great thing, right? 11th, I have C9. Top LCS team. It's too bad. It's too bad, really. I think this is like the lowest that they could be at. I mean, they got screwed in their group, right? They have to pull back a Worlds 2017 run, which has proved it's happened before, so I would give it a healthy chance of happening again. I wouldn't say it's probable, but it's not zero. But stuff to look forward to. I want to see how Berserker does in his first international event. Can he show up? How does he do against T1? That's a big deal. That is a big deal. Massive. Not only for C9, but for T1 as well, I think. I think they can't look past that. Guma, I don't think, is going to be able to look past it until it happens. I mean, C9 top side's okay. Blabber has been doing well. Jensen's done well, and obviously Blabber feels passionately right now. You know, you saw him get emotional on stage. This is a big deal for C9 as they try and, you know, they've been through it a long year. And it's so funny because at the beginning of this whole year, I was like, C9 is like the team because it had LS, we had Summit. It was, you know, it was like, this looks awesome. This is going to be awesome. And then they fire LS and it's like, damn it, you know. And it took all the way until summer playoffs to figure it out. And it was midway through. I mean, they almost lost to CLG, right? So it's cool, and at the same time, it's kind of disappointing. I wonder how good this team can be. I mean, I wish that they were in another group, I guess. 10th place, we have Rogue. Rogue have figured out how they want to play the game. I believe Trimby deciding not to ego pick is a big deal. I think I've talked about in the Discord that I think that some supports don't want to play the enchanters. You know, they don't want to do it. Where Trimby's like, give me Lux, give me Soraka, Seraphine. I don't care. I'm going to play whatever the hell works. That is an advantage for Rogue that I don't think any team on this board has. Now, how valuable is that remains to be seen. And some people are going to say, well, it doesn't matter at all. Well, I think it does. I think champion pool matters. I think the opportunity to be unpredictable matters. Willing to pick the cheese pick that's better that no one else wants to pick because they're like, oh, I don't want to play that, matters. And Rogue have that with Trimby, which facilitates comp. And right now, it's comp and Trimby versus the world. Odoamne plays a good weak side. And Larson lanes well, and they're fine playing that way. Last major region Eastern team is DRX. DRX, technically, if you look at this, DRX should be getting out of groups, right? Because we know that, well, depends on where I put G2, Damwon, and JDG, right? If I have G2 above Damwon, that means they would get out. You know, but DRX, I think that they're going to get out of play-ins. I think it's going to be close, though. DRX, Saigon Buffalo, and Mad Lions, that's not going to be... DRX are not going to be 5-1, I think, at the end of this, losing to RNG. I think that it's going to be a tight one. Group B is... Honestly, Group B in play-ins feels like one of the world's groups because you have three major regions and Saigon Buffalo, which is definitely a opponent that has to be respected. So it's going to be real fun in Group B. But DRX, topside, King into struggle. Juhan versus Pioshik, who's going to play first? I'd prefer it to be Pioshik, but if it's Juhan, it's Juhan. And I'm not a big fan of Juhan, at least from my MSI looks and the few games I saw him with DRX, but we'll see how that goes. Deft, I would love Deft to go on a run to end his career if this is his last hurrah. But kind of is what it is. Last Western team, G2 in 8th place. Sorry, G2 ain't getting out. Well, I said this isn't predictions for Worlds. This isn't. It's how I feel going into it. So G2 are coming off of a loss to Rogue. But we have to keep in mind, did they just swing and miss? It's possible they just were surprised by the Soraka pick and they're like, oh crap. Or they were surprised by whatever Rogue brought out and they're like, oh well. Then they didn't show up. They lost in a big way. So I think G2 just didn't have it. Excuse me. It could have just been a bad day. And that's the end of it, right? I've talked to people before in the Discord and said I believe that the best team in the world, or the best team ever, may not be a team that won Worlds. It's hard to think about it that way, but unlike traditional sports, this game changes every 2 weeks. And at Worlds, sure, you're all on the same patch for a month. But if that patch affects all these teams differently, and some teams are going to benefit from it more than others, depending on what champions players play. If all players played all champions the same amount and scrim the same amount, then you could say, oh, well, yeah, the patch affects everybody the same, so everybody's on an equal playing field at Worlds. I don't believe that in this. I don't believe it. I think that every 2 weeks it changes, and every 2 weeks the playing field changes, and who's good and who's not, at least based on experience and things like that, changes. So G2 missed the boat is pretty much what I'm trying to say, and maybe 12-18, 12-17, 12-16 helps them. I believe G2, I have faith in G2 that they can be the best Western team at this event. 7th place, I have Damwon Kia. Damwon, still a lot of questions with that bot lane. I don't know how it's going to do against the top dogs. Yep. The top dogs. Wanted to make sure I did that. So, with that in mind, and the fact that it is a bot-centric meta right now, I have my reservations about DK. And Canyon and Showmaker have to continue their performance that they had at regional qualifiers in this one. They have to show up big, and frankly, as long as they continue to swap Birdall and Nuguri, I think they're going to have a problem. Next, we have T1. I believe both of these teams have problems. Some people are going to say, wow, you have them below all 4 LPL teams, and I do. I think that T1 have problems. I think Zayas does not fit this meta one bit, and he is struggling to figure it out. Owner, I think, is struggling in this meta. I think Faker is what he is. He is no spring chicken anymore. And bot lane has a lot of question marks. Keria might hint. Is Guma going to show up? Remains to be seen. It remains to be seen. But they're mechanically so good that even if they're playing off, they're still a team that's in the top 7. It's just that I don't think that right now they're not playing their best League of Legends by no means, and there's no promises that it's going to return at Worlds, and I think that we have to take that into consideration, that if they're playing like crap lately, who's to say that they're all of a sudden going to turn it around? It's pretty much how I feel about that. 5th place, I have EDG. And people are going to say, oh, actually, one second. And folks are going to say, how can you have, why'd you drop EDG below RNG? They just beat them twice and this and that. And it's like, this is a lot to do with the patch and the meta shifting. So if the meta shifts to a Kesa Tristana meta, somebody shared it in the Discord that Reaper might have said it, and it makes a lot of sense. Think about it. If RNG can get Gala on Kesa, I think that unleashes him and puts RNG in a place that actually is higher than EDG. I really do. Viper and Mako are very good. Gala and Ming are very good. Viper's better than Gala, but Ming is better than Mako. Wei is better than JJ, especially if they're splitting scrims between JJ and Junjia. I would take, well, Breathe and Flandre are a mix. I think that Flandre is a great top laner that is doing well on the weaker champions, and But if Breathe is going to pull out like Fiora and Jax and stuff, that gives a vibe that I don't see Flandre giving us. Flandre can play those champions, but I don't know if he's going to give it to us. And then mid lane, Jahu over Scout. If it becomes a meta where the teams are moving around and facilitating, I think RNG has the edge. It's very close. 4th and 5th are very close, and people are going to be a little upset about that, but that is what it is. Next two teams, these teams. I'm shocking the world right now with these LPL picks, I'll tell you what. So I swapped Top and JDG. And we might as well do this too. One more. Because we're going to be doing this right. Gen G first. And those two are separated. So why do I have Top over JDG? JDG have struggled to get it done at international events forever. Their players have struggled to get it done. So I have my doubts of whether they're going to get it done or not. Top, people are going to say, well, Jackie Love inted at LPL Finals, and LPL Finals are tougher than Worlds. Maybe, but the fact of the matter is the Worlds trophy is bigger. I don't know if the purse is bigger, but money talks. And Jackie Love has won the thing. Tien has won the thing. I do think that top lane, JDG definitely has the edge in top and in jungle. I think Kanavi's better than Tien right now. Mid, I would take Knight, and in bot, I would take Jackie Love and Mark over Hope and Missing. So with that in mind, I'm giving top the second spot going in, and Gen G first. I think Gen G are still very, very, very good. Chovy, Ruler, Lehens, very good. I think that Peanut's good. Doran is playing the meta great. This meta fits him like a glove, and allows him to thrive. He's been playing these champions for a while, so he should thrive in this meta. When I look at Gen G, I just think that they definitely have the edge. I would take Chovy over Knight and Yagao, and I would take Ruler over Jackie Love and Hope going into this one. And Lehens over Mark and Missing, which I think all that matters, really. And, I mean, honestly, I would take them all, except Doran over 369, which is going to piss somebody off, but I don't really care. So, is what it is on that front. Breaking this up a bit more, tier list. So, I would say these three teams are the three teams I think going into Worlds have the best shot. We got some tiers down here. I think there are levels here, which is going to be really two teams. I think there's a level there. And then we start getting into, well, we're living on a prayer. I think that these teams are, well, if something happens and maybe, I don't know, a few of these teams, something happens or something, maybe DRX or Rogue or C9 can win Worlds, right? These teams, we're looking at a hurricane coming through. Hurricanes don't hit California. They don't hit New York, but they might hit Atlanta. Well, their groups are in New York, aren't they? Well, there's been a couple floods in New York, so maybe they got a chance to get out of groups and play-ins. So, well, some of them got to get out of Mexico. Should be able to do that. And then these teams, we're splitting this up. You're going to be like, why are there so many tiers? Well, now it's become a joke. So these teams, we've went from, I don't think there's a natural disaster that could get these teams to win Worlds. But if you do, you can cite this video and say, I am a dumbass. And I am more than happy to take those views. So that's my top 24 going into Worlds. Thank you for watching. Join the channel, become a YouTube member, $3, $10. Help me stay alive with this channel. Obviously, I'm going to be breathing, but help me keep the channel alive. Check the video out earlier today. Went over Fnatic. Yesterday, I went over most common champion matchups from Summer cumulatively. So that includes all of Summer split in the 4 major regions. What were the most common champion matchups? Went over those. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, subscribe to the channel at least, like the video if you like it, and thank you for watching.